Hello guys, this is gonna be my first video in a while. I've been working on the project that I'm going to show you here in a second. That project being some characters for what might end up being a stop motion series. Xbox, will you shut up? I don't know if you guys heard that, but the Xbox just made a noise. I don't have a name for a series yet. I have a name for all the characters. The main characters, the one that you're actually seeing the lower half of right now. He actually had an update right before this video. That being his staff. Before I go ahead and show you him, here's his old staff. So here's Retro. He is what I consider the main character. That's his upgraded staff. Here is a concept design for the upgraded staff. The lightsaber hilt used on the bottom of it is broken. But yeah, these are his staves. And he's greeting the oldest member of the cast. His name is Sprocket. He's around 60, and he's on a little posing rig, entering the door of their little base. Then over here we have Timothy, who will be included in this, and his little best friend Proto, which was the first female I built for all of this. Her name's Proto because she has a very rough design, and as you can see, she did lose an arm at one point. Because basically this takes place after a war. Well, not after, like, towards the end of the war. Then up on the roof we've got Slasher and his friend Squeaks. Squeaks actually stole an arm from a termination droid because he lost his own. And as you can see, there were some changes along the way with making these guys. You can see some very basic joints on these ones on the first guys I designed. And then you get to seeing ball joints on the two newest ones. And Wheelie, but that's just because Wheelie by default had ball joints. Speaking of Wheelie, he's right here, being held at gunpoint at what is currently the only villain I have for this. Her name is Katana. So yeah, there's the little scene. She was the first to have ball joints. There they are. They're only in her arms. She also was the first to introduce ankle articulation in the form of ratchet joints. Technically, Retro has ankle articulation, but that's supposed to be his knee joint. But it's kind of too low to be a knee joint. Some background knowledge is that Sprocket was made to operate tanks, and his tank was blown up during a mission. Retro is a retired medical droid, so he really does not like violence. Also, his head is on wrong. See? It's supposed to be centered. Give me a second. I'm trying to do this without messing up the pose too much. Because I kind of want to get a picture of all this after the video's over. Timothy. Timothy doesn't really have a backstory. He just exists. Proto, you basically already got her backstory. She is a prototype droid that was abandoned when her factory was attacked. Wheelie is an old supply transport droid. Katana is a ranged. Actually, she's an advanced prototype design for the termination droids. The arm on Squeaks is from the finalized design that was actually sent out into war. Slasher was an even earlier prototype of the termination droids, but because he was activated early, he did not have the core programming that was supposed to make him hostile, so he's not hostile. And then Squeaks was a normal servant droid until the war came around. Also, he has a unique eye shape to give him more expression. Dripped Out Sonic's still over there from the old videos. Yeah, he has this giant arm. There was going to be another villain. His name was going to be Hazard. He was supposed to be, like, taller than this, maybe, like, hitting this roof. Mostly because he had giant horns. He was actually built, but he never got finished, and ultimately he was scrapped so I could build something else that is not complete yet. And, he basically had a giant arm, 2 giant legs, 4 antlers, and was supposed to be like he was supposed to be on her team, and was going to be like the brute force, kind of like Slasher is. Now, in terms of weaponry, bro, I can't even talk. In terms of weaponry, Slasher doesn't have hands. He kind of has like little knives instead of hands. See? And Retro has his staff, but he also has this custom laser sword, also known as a lightsaber, but I'm trying to be unique. Katana also has one of those laser swords, but her main weapon is obviously her arm cannon. I shouldn't have thrown that in there. Sprocket's current weaponry is this small pistol with a silencer. And I'm still trying to decide whether to give this to Wheelie or Proto, but I also have this energy axe with, again, a cracked gold lightsaber hilt. Why do these crack so easily? If someone, well, then again, there's probably not going to be any comments on this because for some reason YouTube won't let me activate comments. But once comments get figured out, can someone please let me know why these break so easily? I'm hoping this one doesn't break because it's the only thing making this axe look cool. Also, that axe head was originally, I think, the back headlights of a Speed Champion set that I no longer have. I get the prototype staffs up there. The 2 prototype staffs are exactly the same, except I made use of a broken piece for the original. Otherwise, I was gonna throw this piece away, but then I figured out I could use it for Retro staff. So yeah. Some side characters that might be in the show, is this guy doesn't have a name, I just call him MVT guy. What? Oh yeah, earlier when I was building one of the characters, the ball joint that I was putting on one of them just kind of imploded, and I guess this was the piece left over from that. But yeah, this guy's unnamed, still trying to find a name for him. He's got a cape and this thing to keep the cape down. And we got one that actually is named. His name is Commander Doodle. He's got a robot arm with some unofficial arm blades. Those aren't official LEGO pieces. They're from a third-party Predator figure. Focus. He's got a custom cape that I made myself. And he's called Commander Doodle because a long time ago I made this. He's got a doodled on head. So yeah. He's pretty cool. And then I also have this posing rig right here for figures. They can stand on it in a bunch of different places. There's more parts to the posing rig. I just don't have them on me right now. There's also this smaller posing rig similar to the one that Sprocket is on, except his is even smaller than this. So yeah, that's the project I've been working on. Timothy hasn't changed at all since you last saw him. Someone else has, though. Let me get him. Hold on. So, as you may remember, I have a Redstone Golem figure that I got a very long time ago. And he did end up losing a hand. But then I built him a prosthetic, but then that prosthetic got taken away so I could build Devix. He now has a better name than the original one. I can't remember the original one right now. His new name is Long Arm, and as the name probably should suggest to you, he now has a long arm with a custom hand instead of just me taking the hand from another figure. Ta-da! Here's the custom hand. It's a bit bulky, but that's okay considering it's the Redstone Golem. He's still got the pita on his shoulder. And yeah. It's got the same posability, except you can kinda like twist the thumb. This piece, this is really hard to do one-handed. You can kind of like just move it like that and get the thumb to do different angles. So yeah, it's a pretty basic build, but I really like the fact that I was able to bring this character back to life. I also did replace the neck joint in there, that socket right there. It was cracked when I was doing this, so I just grabbed a new one and replaced it. So now his head doesn't flop down whenever you move him. So yeah, that's the little house scene. That's really all I wanted to show off. I haven't been posting for a while, and I probably still won't get back to a normal posting schedule for a few weeks. We've got some stuff going on at home that I'm not gonna go into detail about. But yeah, I'm sorry for the wait, but this is that project I've been talking about. These little figures. The only reason it's taken so long to do these tiny little guys is because I do not have a lot of Legos at all, really. I've basically just been building these guys out of scraps, as is really obvious with Proto and Squeaks. So yeah, I'd say the cleanest designs are Retro, Slasher, and Katana, in terms of the cast that's actually going to be in the show. If it was including all of these figures here, then he has the cleanest design, because he's mostly just the original Lego figure. But I'm talking about the ones that I designed myself. Timothy has a really nice design, but he's not going to be a main star of the show. He'll be in it a lot, but not nearly as much as, like, Retro or Wheelie. I still need to design some more villains. Maybe this guy could come into the show as a villain, or maybe the Redstone Monstrosity, Devix. I've got a lot of Lego figures I could put in this show. Like, for example, I could put Tick from the Bad Batch in it. Or Jerry, or his name's Jerry, right? I think so. Or my Minecraft skin, or Rock. Or myself, or Dragon Slayer. Or Fortnite, or Spider-Man. I have a lot of... This isn't mine, this is my brother's. Anyways, we're back at the house. I probably should have used that pause feature while I was getting the redstone golem. Oh well. I did have to change out one of the pieces on the redstone golem's main parts. This part right here, not the socket, in his shoulder, that ball joint, I switched it out for a socket so I could have the joint I wanted for the wrist. So yeah. And also the piece that was originally in the little ball joint that was originally there was about to snap off, so it really wouldn't have worked out if I didn't change that, so yeah. Yeah, I've got a little thing in here, like down here that I keep the figures in. These guys go over, no, these guys go on top of the posing rig, the bigger one. This small one goes into the accessories, and then I basically just fit the bigger guys in here. Usually Squeaks and Katana are the ones left out of that, which is why I have this to put Squeaks and Katana in, because they're just larger, because of his stolen limb and her complex joints. They are a bit bigger. Obviously Timothy can't fit in either of them. Man, I really like this though. Like, look at Timothy and his friend. Anyways, that's really it. If this video gets like 10 likes, I'll try and fix Retro Staff. Goodbye.